Hey guys, Ray from Love Your RV. So I'm back with my full review of the Himcen H740 Pro power station. A while back I gave you an introductory video. If you missed that, I'll leave a link to it for you to catch up on that. This new power station has several unique features which grabbed my attention when Himcen offered me one of the early units for review. Like for instance the XT port. I hadn't come across before in any other portable power station that I'd reviewed. But top of the list in my mind is the lithium battery pack being removable, allowing for expanded power capacity. Another essential feature is the speedy recharge times, the downfall of many of its competitors on the market, especially the ones I've tested before. They took a long time to recharge. So if you're running like a CPAP machine and you want it recharged for the next night, you want something that a box that you can recharge fast. Also, it's nice you could buy an extra battery. Product design and looks. I really like the looks and the fit and finish of this Himcen unit. It has a sleek metal case made of aluminum and an attractive color LED display. Display provides useful information like current input and output wattage levels and battery percentage, plus the calculated time of the battery remaining at the certain load that you're using it at. The only design negative I found was the display was difficult to see in bright light outside, like in the sunlight, versus a more basic backlit LCD type, sort of like that the Jackeries have, where there's no color to it. Not a deal breaker though, I can live with it. The H40P is about the size of a toaster, surprisingly small considering its 600 watt power output and 740 watt hours battery capacity. Weight is around 15 pounds. I found it easy to carry and move around with the smooth built-in handle and the thick rubber feet. The weight is primarily the removable lithium-ion battery pack located in the bottom portion of the box. This gives it a lower center of gravity, so I found it very hard to knock over. So I'd say it's really suitable for use in a moving vehicle like an RV. Let's go with my charging and discharging test results. So over the past month I've been rigorously testing the unit. I've charged it and discharged it dozens of times in all kinds of various ways. The H740 can be charged using the 200 watt AC wall plug, up to 300 watts of solar, or 120 watts using the included automotive DC power socket plug. Moreover, you can also charge using the USB-C connector up to 100 watts, then combine that with the 200 watt AC input to produce a total of 300 watts. That knocks the overall charging time of the 740 watt hour battery pack down to between 2 and 3 hours, so really a quick recharge. Here's my tests. I did a few tests of my own. I put over 300 watts of solar into it, and it took approximately 4 hours from empty to full charge. I tried the AC power adapter, and it was 3.5 hours. I tried it in my truck's power socket. It was 5.5 hours. I don't actually have a 100 watt USB-C charger to try it. The best one I have is a 20 watt charger, but I did confirm that it will add together. So I tried the 200 watt AC input and then the 20 watt USB-C charger I had for a total of 220 watts. So as you can see with my charging tests, the box performed really well. I was impressed, and I think it could be a terrific power station for people that need to have power ready to go again quickly, like I said before. However, after the AC inverter discharge test, I can only give it a rating of just okay. I found the usable battery capacity was about 10% less than the rated 740 watt hours when powering higher wattage loads, like say over 100 watts. The 600 watt inverter would reduce its AC voltage and wattage output or even shut down after the 10% capacity left reading. I kind of discussed this with Himcen, and they say they'll be able to maybe adjust the software settings to improve this in the final production units. So I'd say if you want to run higher wattage loads, you'd want to make sure the box is at least charged above 30% before you start running them. I've also alerted them that the 120 watt folding solar panel they sent me had a disappointingly low power output when compared head to head with a couple Jackery 100 watt ones that I have on hand. In my low angle winter tests here, it's all I can do right now. The sun's pretty low, but I waited for a really clear sunny day. And the folding panel they sent me that claims to be 120 watts maxed out at about 50 watts of charging power, whereas the 100 watt Jackery solar Segas could give me 65 watts. So hopefully they can source a better folding panel to sell. I was informed that Himcen makes its own power station, but the actual solar panel is outsourced. As for DC voltage outputs, they performed as advertised. The cigarette lighter socket output puts out a regulated 12 volts at 10 amps, and the two smaller barrel connectors output 5 amps. So with the 12 volt 10 amp output, I was able to power my 60 watt portable 50 liter fridge freezer without a problem. I also tested the XT60 output socket, and it produced 20 volts. It produced 20 volts at 30 amps. This board is designed for charging remote control cars and planes and drone lithium battery packs, that sort of thing. However, I imagine with the addition of a voltage regulator, it could power higher ampage 12 volt DC items like, say, an air compressor. I did give it a try using my Viair 450P compressor, even at the higher than recommended 20 volts DC, and it powered it nicely. You can take a look at the Himcen website. I'll give you a link, and you can see it can power a wide range of lighter loads for a long time, many hours and even days. However, I wanted to try it on some of the various high wattage items I have around the RV, such as, say, our 43-inch LED television. And here are my discharge power test results I got. So my 48 3-inch Vizio LED TV, it was able to power for 10.5 hours. I have a 60 watt electric heater. It powered it for a little over an hour, and has a 120 watt electric blanket, and she could get 3 nights of use out of it, and that was fairly coolish nights. I'd say temps were outside were down near freezing, and inside was around in the mid 50s, so it was on pretty often. My Dell 17-inch laptop, I got 4 days of continuous use out of it, and I was using it a lot, at least 8 hours a day, and I processed quite a few videos and photos which take a lot of power, so that was pretty impressive. I have a little Ivation 19-pint dehumidifier. It was able to power that for 1.5 hours. 50 liter portable fridge freezer, I was roughly able to power that about 20 hours. We have a little egg cooker, 335 watt egg cooker. It powered it no problem, using just a few % of the battery capacity to cook some eggs. We also have a 700 watt 3-quart Instapot, which is quite popular with boondockers, but it was not able to power it. It overloaded, as I would expect it to do, since this unit only has a 600 watt inverter. Electric smoker grill, I gave it a good test with that, using about 2% of the battery capacity to cook a small pork roast, so that was quite nice. So I could do literally 30 or 40 cooks with that. And my Viair 450 air compressor, I was able to power it using the XT port. So as you can see, I really put this new power station from Himcen through its paces testing a wide variety of items around the RV. So maybe give you a few video clips of it in action, and then I'll come back with my pros and cons list as I see. One perk of having the removable battery is you can actually be, if you had 2 batteries, you could be charging one while you'd be using another one at the same time. So these can be independently charged through here. You can use the power brick, or also you could use your car charger or solar panel charging as well. And then it has a little readout here as it's charging, 4 different LED lights. One thing you're probably wondering is, can you be charging this box at the same time you're powering something? And the answer is yes. You can see right now I'm powering a little smoker grill here. It's using 214 watts, but at the same time I have this unit plugged in, and I'm getting 197 watts. So You know, if you had your solar panel set up on a nice sunny day, you could actually be powering your smoker without using any energy out of the box, what they call pass-through charging. A quick demo of what happens when you try to run something that the box isn't capable of running too high a wattage, and it overloads the AC inverter. So we're just going to put this toaster, which is too high for this box to run, just so you can see what happens. And there you can see get this flashing overload beeping. Then to reset it, you just push the button and you're back in business. Okay, decided to test the XT60 port. I don't have any RC things or any batteries I can try, so I'm going to give a shot at you powering my Viair pump. Now I'm probably over voltaging that, could be risking my pump, but I'll just do a short test. Just hit the air compressor so that it charges up the air compressor. So I'm at the XT60 port, and you can see it's putting out about 19.79 volts, and this pump should draw about 20 amps. So let's just see if the port can put it out. Yeah. So that's kind of cool, because this pump can't run off of most of those cigarette lighter sockets. They're usually maxed out at 10 amps on most of these, so that's an interesting port to me. Hopefully I can find maybe a little voltage regulator that I can plug into that port that'll bring the voltage down so that I'm not running such a high voltage into my pump. And then I'd also be able to run other high amperage DC devices off of this little box, so that's really cool. So I thought a good test for this little box would be my smoker. Something I'd be interested to see if it works. So I have my smoker fired up, my Country Smokers grill here, and it's drawing around 215 watts. And what I'm going to do is maybe cook a little pork roast here and see how much percentage of the box it uses to do that. Okay, meat is on the grill, and we're right at 74.4% on the box. Close her up. I'm actually going to also test out my new gadget Ann got me. It's a Thermo Pro wireless thermometer. Lets me know, it's got two probes so I can tell what the grill temperature is and also the meat temperature. Yeah, there's it is there. Probably do a review for that at some point. It's pretty cool. Well, it's been smoking away several hours, and really basically it hasn't budged. It maybe used 2% of the box's capacity, so hardly anything at all. You could probably do, I'd say, at least 30 or 40 cooks off of that box. Something like this pork roast. Anyway, I'm going to pull it off, take her in, finish it off in the oven later. It's getting kind of rainy out here. Add some barbecue sauce to it. Okay, back with my pros and cons. Okay, let's go through the pros first. The removable 640 watt-hour lithium battery pack is excellent. That's a great thing to have. I really love that you can expand the capacity. Another good thing is a lot of these battery packs are going to wear out as you use them. A lot of times they only have, say, 500 or 600 full cycle recharges in them. So at least with this one, you still have your unit. You just have to order a new battery pack, so much cheaper to replace. Speedy recharge times, and that proved out in my tests that it does recharge quite quickly. Also, the battery packs can be charged independently, so you can have, say, one battery pack you're using in the unit, and you could have a second spare battery pack and have it being charged by solar or in your vehicle or whatever at the same time. Does have a 600 watt pure sine inverter, so that's good for running most low wattage items, and even some appliances can be run off that. The voltage is regulated on the DC outputs, which is good. A lot of the cheaper models, they're not regulated. As soon as you start pulling some amps, the voltage drops. It has 3 quick charge USB 3 ports, and then it's got that input-output USB-C port up to 100 watts max. It's got the built-in XT60 port that I mentioned. Also has what they call pass-through charging, so you can charge and discharge at the same time. So you could be, say, powering something and be feeding in power at the same time. You can also use the leads. They gave you some alligator clamp leads, so you can recharge a dead automotive battery, and it puts out 10 amps. So say your battery in your truck is dead, hook it up, let it sit there for an hour or so, and it'll bring that back up to charge for you. All the power outputs can be used simultaneously, so you can be powering, charging your phone, and doing something with the inverter or something else. Relatively quiet fan, and it's temperature controlled, so it only comes on when it needs to and has different cooling speeds. The LED color display is quite informative, quite attractive. Other than I say outside, it's not very good. Compact and lightweight at 15 pounds, and it also came with an array of different size DC barrel connectors, which is really nice. You don't have to go searching around and buying those for your different things you want to plug in. And just a few cons here. One thing is it's a brand new product to market, so it's an early model. Also, the company is relatively unknown. I had never heard of them, and looking at their website, they've only had a few other different power stations out before. So they don't really have a big track. The other thing is below 20% battery capacity. Like I said, I found the AC inverter output voltage dropped under heavy loads. I even measured levels as low as 98.9 volts when running a 400 watt load at 10% battery capacity reading. So hopefully they can mess with the software and improve that, because you really wouldn't be running one of your items that low of voltage. It's almost like a brownout, so some items could actually be damaged running them at that low of an AC voltage. The display is hard to read in bright light. That's not really a deal breaker or anything for me. It's just you have to kind of shade it with your hand to kind of look at it. And the 120 watt folding solar panel they provided for the review produced much lower wattage than I would have expected out of it. Hopefully they can resource that. So in conclusion, overall, I find the Himcen 740 Pro power station to be well constructed and a powerful little unit. The removable battery pack and fast recharge time for me are the killer features. These features alone set it apart from many others currently on the market. Hopefully Himcen turns out to be a trustworthy competitor in the portable power station marketplace. And finally, check the Himcen Pro product launch page. I'll leave a link to that. You'll be able to find more specs and also be alerted when it's actually available for purchase. So far, it's not out yet. They're currently going to launch it, I think, sometime in February and March, and they're offering early birds $100 off right now. So there you go. That's the review of the Himcen Power Station. Till next time, this is Ray from loveyourrv.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it.